The movie opens with Mike Banning running through a building while being fired upon as part of a military training exercise at the beginning of the movie. He eliminates every threat in his path until he leaves the building and is shot by Wade Jennings, a teammate. Mike defends himself by warning Bruno that if he doesn't act like it's real, he will die when it is real. After one of the other teammates, Bruno, accuses him of pushing him down the stairs. After discussing Mike's potential promotion to Secret Service Director and his paramilitary firm, Salient Global, on a subsequent walk, Jennings asks Mike to put in a good word for a deal that would allow his team to receive training in that area. Mike pledges to make every effort. Mike has been experiencing migraines and insomnia lately. Although he has sought medical attention for it, he has kept it a secret from Allan Trumbull, who is now the president, and his wife Leah. He is even described as a disaster waiting to happen by one doctor. He is less inclined to accept the director position because Mike and Leah also have to raise their infant daughter Lynn. Mike travels to the White House with Trumbull and SSD David Gentry for a press conference. Trumbull makes it clear that he wants to establish a better foreign policy and that he intends to make war a last resort. Later, Mike goes fishing with the other agents and Trumbull. Mike receives a personal announcement from Trumbull that he has been chosen for the director position, which he gratefully accepts. The men then notice what appears to be a flock of bats flying through the air. They soon come to the realization that they are drones, and they start firing at the agents. Mike leaps to defend Trumbull as men are blown up where they are standing. In order to remain undetected, the two leap from the boat into the water. Before either of them loses consciousness, Mike is able to transport Trumbull to a secure location. Trumbull is left in a coma as the two men are taken to the hospital. Martin Kirby, the vice president, is sworn in as the acting president as a result. To see Mike, Leah rushes to the hospital with Lynn. Helen Thompson, an FBI agent, approaches Mike and starts questioning him about his potential involvement in the attack on Trumbull. Since Mike's hair and skin cells, as well as residue that resembled that in Mike's garage, were discovered in the van that set off the drones, it is possible that Mike was the attacker. Despite the fact that Thompson appears to believe he was actually at fault, Mike believes he was set up. After a short while, Mike is arrested. Mike is taken along when the escort team is attacked and killed. He ultimately defeats them, sending them careening into a forest tree. Mike suspects the men from his training exercise may be involved after identifying one of the bad guys as Bruno. Mike prepares himself and begins to flee. When authorities later arrive on the scene, they find all the dead men. The attack's mastermind, Jennings, is revealed to be behind them. By hiding his DNA in the van, he purposefully made Mike the fall guy. Mike calls Leah from a pay phone to reassure her that he is okay, but Thompson overhears the conversation and can understand everything that is being said. Leah is the one who informs him that they have received threats of having their lives taken. Mike is forced to cut off the call because two individuals who are aware of his wanted status attempt to apprehend him. Mike, however, is able to disarm them and then escape a second time by stealing the truck of another gunman. He is discovered by the authorities, and they begin their pursuit of him. After the truck crashed into the forest, Mike was forced to start running again. Kirby and other White House officials discuss the possibility that the Russian government was involved in the assassination attempt, as well as the steps that can be taken to put an end to it, and the conversation is led by Kirby. In a subsequent live press conference, he makes the assertion that Mike was unquestionably involved in the attack and that he was working with Russia. He also states that Russia was Mike's collaborator. Kirby continues by saying that he is employing the assistance of a free agent in order to assist him in launching a counterattack against Russia. Mike believes that his biological father, Clay, a former decorated ranger who deserted him when Mike was a child and has allegedly been living off the grid ever since, is the man he is looking for. As a result, Mike rents a van and sets out on a journey to locate his biological father. Mike had found him and was aware of the location in which he had been hiding for some time. Clay, who lives by himself in a rustic cabin, has been strengthening his defenses in preparation for the possibility of an assault. Mike explains the situation to his father, who is still upset that Clay abandoned him and Mike's mother. Mike's father blames Clay for the situation. Jennings is able to follow Mike to Clay's location, and once there, Clay sends his men after Mike and his companions. The Banning family goes outside to protect themselves after seeing the intruders on Clay's surveillance footage. Clay reluctantly offers Mike his assistance and detonates explosives placed around the perimeter in order to eliminate the villains. Mike takes on a few of the enemies on his own before the rest of them are eliminated. Clay gives Mike a radio that plays Kirby's announcement every morning and presents it to Mike as a gift. Mike makes contact with Jennings after coming to the conclusion that he is the villain. It was always the intention of Salient Global to gain business and customers by starting a war as the means to accomplish this goal. Following that, Mike and Clay pack their belongings and drive away from the cabin. While Mike is pulling over to get gas, he overhears on the radio that Trumbull is responding to stimuli. Despite this, Mike is aware that Jennings won't give up until Trumbull is no longer alive. In addition, Mike brings up Leah and Lynn to Clay in order to drive home the point that he has a lot to lose. When Thompson and her fellow agents later discover the dead Salient agents, she begins to wonder if Mike is actually innocent because she is aware of the atrocities that Salient has been responsible for in Iraq. Thompson is aware of these atrocities because she is one of the agents who discovered the dead Salient agents. During the time that Trumbull is beginning to come to, Jennings gets a phone call from Kirby, his employer. He instructs Jennings to send his men out to complete the task they have been given. Jennings sends his men to the Banning residence with the intention of retrieving Leah and Lynn from there. When the two men were about to be led outside, Clay appears to shoot and kill both of them. He then proceeds to make his introduction to Leah and apologizes for having to abandon Mike and his mother. He has given his word that he will protect Leah and Lynn. Thompson and her companion fly into the Salient base so that they can confront Jennings there. As soon as Jennings discovers that they are both aware of the truth, he has them both put to death. Mike travels to the hospital where Trumbull is staying as soon as he is conscious again. He is successful in climbing the stairs, but he is eventually discovered. Trumbull issues the command for Mike to be brought to him. As a result of the fact that Trumbull is aware that Mike is the reason he is still alive, he places his faith in Mike's assertion that he is being framed. Soon after, Mike realizes that Salient is leaking gas into the rooms by breaking into the computer system of the hospital. He is aware of their plans to detonate a bomb inside the medical facility. It has come to the attention of Salient tech agents that the entire building has been cleared out. It is not a secret to Jennings that Mike arrived before they did. As soon as Jennings and his goons arrive, agents from both the Secret Service and Salient engage in gunfire with one another. Mike chases after Trumbull in an effort to get him to safety as Jennings continues to attempt to kill both of them. An explosion then takes place, causing the intensive care unit of the hospital to be destroyed. When Mike leaves Trumbull on his mission to eliminate the Salient agents, Gentry is there to accompany him. He kills almost all of the remaining men by shooting, stabbing, and blowing them up before another military unit comes in and finishes them off. Mike is able to foil Jennings' plan to flee the area via helicopter by using the vehicle himself. Mike stabs Jennings during a one-on-one confrontation between the two men, then walks away while Jennings is still bleeding to death. In the aftermath, Trumbull and Gentry become aware of Kirby's involvement with Salient and decide to arrest him. Mike, on the other hand, is exonerated of all wrongdoing. After this, Mike decides to make amends with Clay by letting him move in with his family so that they can catch up on lost time. Mike pays a visit to Trumbull with the intention of telling him that he has come to the conclusion that he is no longer able to act in the capacity of his protector due to the fact that he did not inform him of his recent medical issues and that he does not appear to be fit to do so. Mike is granted a pardon, and Trumbull lets him know that he is still eligible for the position of Director of the Secret Service if he so chooses. Mike consents. Following the completion of the credits, Mike and Clay make the conscious decision to spend some quality time together by checking into a local spa. Clay doesn't appear to be having much fun with it. Thanks for watching. For more videos like this, please subscribe, like, and share this video, and leave a comment with the name of any film you'd like us to review.